US media giant Comcast has made a takeover approach for UK broadcaster Sky. The company has announced the Comcast bid is understood to be around £22.1 billion and would be a cash offer of £12.50 per share. 16% higher than Fox's bid of £10.75 per share. 21st Century Fox has already agreed a deal to purchase the 61% of Sky it does not already own. Comcast, which owns NBC and Universal Pictures, said the move would create a leading content and distribution business in the UK and Europe. The deal with 21st Century Fox was struck more than a year ago but came under scrutiny from the Competition and Markets Authority, CMA, which said if the takeover went ahead it was likely to operate against the public interest because it could give the Murdoch family too much influence in the UK. Comcast chairman and chief executive Brian Roberts said Sky is an outstanding company. He said, "We think that Sky would be very valuable to us as we look to expand our presence internationally." The superior cash proposal values each Sky share at £12.50 in cash, a significant premium to the 21 CF price currently recommended. "We would like to own the whole of Sky and we will be looking to acquire over 50% of the Sky shares. We are confident that we will be able to receive the necessary regulatory approvals. If successful, the acquisition will enhance our free cash flow per share in the first year. The UK is and will remain a great place to do business. We already have a strong presence in London and Comcast intends to use Sky as a platform for our growth in Europe. We intend to maintain and enhance Sky's business." Murdoch already owns many media outlets in the UK, including major newspapers such as The Times and The Sun, but a potential £39 billion deal to sell Fox to Disney would take the company out of Murdoch's hands and thus allow it to go ahead. Last month Murdoch's 21st Century Fox, which is seeking to consolidate its control over Sky amid pressure from competitors such as Netflix, Google and Amazon, criticized the CMA decision in a statement. It said, regarding plurality, "We are disappointed by the CMA's provisional findings. We will continue to engage with the CMA ahead of the publication of the final report in May." The final decision over whether to sink the Fox deal was expected to be made by the end of May, when the regulator will send its report to the new Secretary of State for Culture, Media and Sport, Matt Hancock, who will make the call. Mr. Hancock was a culture minister from July 2016 before he was appointed to his current role, so has kept his counsel on the Sky issue. Fox previously said it expected to be given the green light over the deal. Suggested ways to resolve concerns about Murdoch's influence in Britain could include spinning off or divesting Sky News, or insulating Sky News from Fox's influence, the CMA said. A third option is to block the deal outright. Mr. Murdoch denied his family were retreating after the planned sale of Fox to Disney was announced last year. He told investors last month, "I know a lot of you are wondering, why did the Murdochs come to such a momentous decision? Are we retreating? Absolutely not. We are pivoting at a pivotal moment. What is the competition watchdog worried about? The Competition and Markets Authority, CMA, has dealt a bloody nose to Rupert Murdoch in his attempts to push through a tie-up between 21st Century Fox and Sky. Its concerns center on media plurality or the fear that one organization would wield too much power over the political process if it holds a large slice of the Britain's media industry. Rupert Murdoch's UK media empire is already vast. He owns News UK, home to newspapers The Sun, The Times, The Sunday Times, The Times Literary Supplement, Wireless Group and Unruly. Parent company News Corporation also holds News Wire service Dow Jones and The Wall Street Journal. So a deal for Fox to buy the 61% of Sky it does not already own, including Sky News, is seen as a step too far for the CMA. Does it mean the deal is off? The CMA's provisional findings are a setback for Fox's takeover of Sky, but the deal is not dead in the water. The watchdog has tabled three options which would help put its mind at rest. It could block the deal, Sky News could be spun off, or behavioral changes could be made to protect Sky News from the direct influence of the Murdoch family trust. Where does Walt Disney fit into all this? Walt Disney announced a £39 billion $52.4 billion deal to buy 21st Century Fox's entertainment assets last month. The move handed the entertainment giant a hefty slice of Mr. Murdoch's empire, including Fox's 39% stake in Sky. The takeover was widely seen as a positive step for the Fox-Sky deal because Disney would ultimately become the sole owner of both Sky and Sky News. The watchdog noted the deal in Tuesday's finding, saying the Disney takeover would significantly weaken the link between Sky News and the Murdoch family trust. But on a more cautious note, it said there was not enough certainty that the Disney-Fox deal would go through, and if so, when it might happen, problems would arise. For example, if the Disney-Fox deal was not complete before the Fox-Sky takeover was pushed through. The watchdog has flagged the possibility of a so-called sunset clause, whereby moves to satisfy competition concerns would fall away if the Disney-Fox deal went through as planned. What happens next? The CMA's provisional findings may be a significant moment, but there is still a long road ahead. A consultation on the watchdog's remedies closes on February 6, while an overarching consultation on the provisional findings ends on February 13. The CMA then has until May 1 before its final report is sent to Culture's Secretary Matt Hancock. He will then have 30 working days to consider them before making a final decision on the deal. That would all change if the Comcast offer is accepted, although it would likely be subject to similar scrutiny from the CMA. What happened last time? Mr. Murdoch's move for Sky comes after his last attempt at seizing control of the business through News Corporation in 2011. The tilt faced opposition from media industry rivals and politicians before it was scuppered by acute pressure on the company brought about by phone hacking claims involving News International. Rupert Murdoch suffered a knockback after 21st Century Fox's bid for Sky was provisionally blocked by the competition watchdog on Monday. Here is a timeline showing the mogul's major acquisitions to date. 1968, Mr. Murdoch buys Britain's News of the World newspaper, building on his family's media empire in Australia. 1969, the media mogul takes control of British tabloid The Sun. 1976, he purchases U.S. tabloid The New York Post. It marks his second foray into the U.S. market, having bought the San Antonio Express-News 3 years earlier. 1981, Mr. Murdoch snaps up the owner of the Times and Sunday Times. 1985, he takes over the film unit of 20th Century Fox and a handful of local TV stations that will later become the Fox network. 1987, he buys U.S. publisher Harper & Row, which is merged with his newly purchased Williams Collins a few years later, becoming HarperCollins. 1989, Mr. Murdoch launches Sky Television. 1 year later it is merged with TV company British Satellite Broadcasting (BSB) to become Sky B. 1996, he launches the American Fox News Channel, which becomes a major U.S. cable network. 2005, the media mogul makes his first major foray into web-based media, buying social networking site MySpace, which struggles after Facebook gains dominance. It is sold by 2011. He later calls the purchase a huge mistake. 2007, Mr. Murdoch acquires financial news organization The Wall Street Journal. 2011, his media empire is hit with a major scandal after it was revealed that journalists at the News of the World ordered the phone of murdered schoolgirl Millie Dowler to be hacked. It later emerged that thousands of others were targeted by phone hacking. The news led to the closure of the newspaper. 2011, News Corporation makes an offer to acquire Sky B but is forced to abandon its plans after becoming embroiled in the phone hacking scandal. January 2016, son James Murdoch becomes chairman of Sky, having last held the role between 2003 and 2007. He had resigned following the phone hacking scandal involving the Murdoch-owned News of the World. The return of James Murdoch raises questions as to whether 21st Century Fox would mount a fresh takeover bid for Sky. December 2016, 21st Century Fox tables a formal £11.7 billion takeover bid for broadcaster Sky, offering to buy the 61% of the business it does not already own. December 2017, Walt Disney launches a separate £52.4 billion £39 billion takeover of 21st Century Fox's entertainment assets, which would include its stake in Sky. January 2018, 21st Century Fox's bid for Sky is provisionally blocked by the Competition and Markets Authority watchdog due to fears that it would hand the Murdochs too much control over UK media. February 2018, Comcast makes a £22.1 billion offer for Sky to rival the Murdoch bid.